United States government has uncovered evidence indicating the existence of UFOs. Scientists finally discover UFO evidence the Pentagon is hiding from us. In works of science fiction, our galaxy is home to a plethora of new alien races, as well as several conflicts between galaxies. In contrast, we have not come across even the most fundamentally different extraterrestrial life form in the real world, let alone one that possesses highly developed technology. According to one school of thought, planets that may potentially support life are in short supply, and those that do contain it are an exceptional occurrence. It is also feasible that there are societies that are even more technologically advanced than our own, but they are located too far away for us to ever have the opportunity to communicate with them. What if, however, extraterrestrial life is common throughout the galaxy, and we have been purposefully excluded from the neighborhood party? What exactly is the Pentagon trying to keep a secret from the public? Is anything wrong? Or are we the sole beings that exist somewhere in the universe? Well, scientists finally discover UFO evidence the Pentagon is hiding from us. It would appear that numerous sightings of unexplained anomalous phenomena, abbreviated as UAP, have been reported throughout the course of the past few years. Simply put, the general public does not have a great deal of knowledge regarding them. Since many decades ago, the government has unequivocally refuted any claims that UFOs or flying saucers have been spotted in our sky. Not until just a short while ago, however. So, let's get down to it. What changed? 2007 saw the beginning of the Secret Aerospace Threat Identification Program, which was initiated by the United States government and housed in the Pentagon. The program's objective was to collect and examine information about UFO encounters that had been reported to the Department of Defense by members of the armed forces at various points in time. In 2008, Luis Elizondo, who had previously spent the previous 20 years managing military operations, became involved in the endeavor. In 2010, he was selected to lead the program, during which time he honed its focus on strengthening national security. After receiving claims of UAP sightings, he conducted in-depth research on the incidents. One odd claim made by two retired members of the United States military about a peculiar item in the shape of a tic-tac seen floating above the Pacific Ocean caught his interest. Navy aviators. Training exercises were being carried out by the Nimitz Carrier Strike Group, with Commander David Freevor and Lieutenant Commander Alex Dietrich in attendance. Multiple unidentified flying objects were spotted on the horizon by the radar of a ship that was part of the training group. These UFOs were falling at a rate of 80,000 meters per second, and they were abnormal. Freevor and Dietrich were both given separate planes to fly to the scene of the incident in order to conduct their investigation, and in the back seat of each aircraft was a weapons system officer. They were able to make out a churning pool of water that was roughly the size of a Boeing 737 when they got closer to it. According to Dietrich, the item in the shape of a tic-tac was floating in the air above it, and it was behaving in an unpredictable manner and following an unpredictable course. The unidentified flying object did not have any markings, such as wings or smoke trails. Freevor approached the object to have a better look, but it sped away at such a rapid pace that he was unable to see it after it disappeared before his very eyes. A few seconds later, from a distance of around 96 kilometers, radar was able to pick it up. The events described above are merely the beginning of the story. Navy aviators reported a large number of other sightings, in which they witnessed strange cubes or triangles performing maneuvers that no aircraft had ever been able to perform before, such as coming to a quick stop, turning on a dime, and traveling at speeds of 11,000 miles per hour, 17,700 kilometers per hour, or even faster. And they were doing all of this in airspace that was restricted, including regions that were designated for training fighter jets, including the waters off the coast of San Diego, Virginia, and Jacksonville, Florida. Researchers have been studying UAP for decades, and during that time, they have seen a consistent pattern among them. The ability to defy gravity, sudden and unexpected increases in speed, hypersonic speeds with no audible sonic booms or discernible propulsion systems, either reduced visibility or cloaking, and transmedium travel, which is the movement between different mediums, such as air and water, without encountering any resistance or drag. These characteristics are the ones that most baffle specialists in the field of national security. Our arsenal does not contain anything that can perform the same function as that. Who or what do you think they might be? Some pilots have put up the hypothesis that the objects in question were either hostile surveillance aircraft or top-secret American technology. However, in Elizondo's opinion, it would be the most astonishing intelligence failure in the history of the United States if a foreign adversary had produced these technologies 75 years ago and we were still uninformed that they owned them. This would be the case if we were oblivious that they possessed these technologies. Is it possible that this means they originated from another planet? Elizondo encourages us to avoid making snap decisions and to keep an open mind at all times. It's possible that these autos originated in outer space, on asteroids, or any place in between those two extremes. It's feasible that we're dealing with a highly evolved artificial intelligence that is able to clone itself and instantly communicate with its own copies across large distances using a quantum network. This would be a very concerning development. It's possible that our planet is home to a highly advanced society that lives deep inside the ocean, and because to advances in technology, we are now able to track its members as they navigate our waterways, airways, and upper atmosphere. Do unidentified aerial vehicles pose a threat to the safety of the nation? Elizondo contends that despite the fact that it is abundantly evident that these things possess the capacity to cause damage if that were their goal, they have not engaged in any overtly antagonistic or hostile behavior towards humans. He advises that advanced vehicles should be viewed with suspicion if they are observed flying freely in restricted airspace because they have the potential to pose a threat if they choose to do so. Elizondo contends that in order to correctly analyze observational data and provide it to the general public in a way that is transparent and collaborative, a methodology that encompasses the entirety of government is required. Does the government of the United States of America continue to monitor UAPs? After funding for AATIP ran out in 2012, Elizondo maintained his investigation into UAP sightings. However, he eventually gave up in 2017 due to growing frustration with the skeptical attitude of the Pentagon. However, just before he left, he declassified 3 Navy UAP films, and after he did that, he started spreading the story. Christopher Mellon, a civilian at this point but a former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence under Presidents Bill Clinton and George W. Bush, shared the declassified audio with the New York Times. Mellon served in this capacity under both of those presidents. He claimed that he was compelled to take this step in order to persuade the Defense Department to give this matter of national security the serious attention it deserves. The outrage from the public caused Congress to take attention, and it took the Pentagon some time, but they eventually admitted that they had an aerospace threat identification program. After that, the program was brought back to life by the Pentagon, which gave it the new name UAP Task Force. The Department of Defense has given its soldiers permission to report sightings of UAPs. A declassified report on UAP sightings was sought from the Department of Defense and the Director of National Intelligence by Florida Senator Marco Rubio, who was serving as the leader of the Intelligence Committee at the time. The study was to be delivered by June 2021. Have you subscribed yet? Be sure to do so and turn on post notifications for more thrilling discoveries. According to Elizondo, the residual opposition to disclosure is restricted to a very tiny cadre of people whose hold over the secret is gradually dissolving. This is the opinion expressed by Elizondo. The good news is that both Congress and the Department of Defense are willing to take this matter seriously. Because there is sufficient fury from both our servicemen and the wider public, and because we must take that seriously, it has become a liability for the Pentagon to continue a cover-up of these facts. We must take this seriously. What information is going to be shared? In order to provide a report that is exhaustive, it will be essential to sift through copious amounts of information, which may include but are not limited to data, videos, images, telemetry, gathered signatures, and a comprehensive analysis of the electromagnetic spectrum. The United States National Archives and Records Administration, NARA, is home to a large number of document collections that pertain to unidentified flying objects, UFOs, or flying discs. These collections have been subjected to intense investigation and analysis over the course of many years in an effort to uncover any more evidence of extraterrestrial life. The National Archives is the custodian of the materials pertaining to Project Blue Book. These papers contain United States Air Force records that have been retired and declassified since their initial release. These investigations were carried out by the United States Air Force between the years 1947 and 1969. New images revealed by scientists. Strange force encountered. Click on the next video to find out.